Yes. You want me to go? You want me to go right into time under tension? Okay. By time under tension, I just mean the tension that the muscle fibers are under while exercising. For instance, let's say I tell you to do 10 push-ups. That might be super easy for you. But now if I say, let's do 10 push-ups, but each push-up take 5 seconds to lower your push-up, 5 second hold at the bottom, and then 5 seconds back to the top. That's now a total of 15 seconds just to complete one push-up. So on a total of 10 minutes or total of 10 reps, that's, you're doubling the load on your body, without having to say, use a dumbbell. Say you have no weights or things like that. Say we take a body weight squat. I might say, let's start our squat and let's take 30 seconds to get to the bottom of our squat and then hold for 10 seconds and then slowly come back up for 30. Yes, that's a lot of time, but now we're creating a new stimulus on our body. We're recruiting new muscle fibers, which is going to help build, better mobility, better resilience throughout the ligaments and tendons, and to make us stronger because we now understand our body under a different type of mechanical and psychological stress. And that can be done, with a dumbbell press. That can be done with an overhead shoulder press. That can be done with, squatting with a weight or without a weight. You can do back squats, front squats, kettlebell goblet squats the same exact way. Then you're getting more into that mind-body muscle connection that the bodybuilders like Arnold Schwarzenegger always talked about. Not just doing the exercise, but feeling the muscle, especially for the people that are going to be at home or at a park or, don't have full access, to those gyms and things like that. But time under tension, is one of the most underutilized things. And I learned a lot more about that while working at Bomberito Performance in South Florida. Every lift every week was a different time under tension. We wanted the athletes to learn what the load felt like before we got into doing more explosive movements at a, what we would call a XXX tempo, where you load the bar up or have a lighter weight or a heavier weight and, get to the bottom of the squat and then teaching you how to accelerate back out of it, which all would correlate to, running a faster 40 or jumping a higher vertical or broad jump or movements like that. And that correlates right back to your everyday adult. Most of your clients these days, what do they want? They want fat loss. They want to look better naked no matter what they say, and injury prevention. Because what do you see these days on YouTube and Instagram and things like that? You see all the gym fails, all the things that go wrong in the gym. My job, my hope, my want is to show people the things that can go right just by being smarter. This it's a science. It's a science, and time under tension is a part of that. Yes, it's cool to lift heavy. Some people want to lift heavy. It's needed at some point in time because my heavy is different from your heavy. But how do we get from point A to point B the safest, the most effective way, and in a way that we want to come back and do those things again? Yes, our world today, we're too far on one side of the spectrum. It's either, do too little or do nothing at all, or too much high intensity. There's no middle ground. I was like that at one point. I was like, oh, I'm never going to do yoga. I'm never going to do Zumba or water aerobics or things like that. But now I look at it as, it's a revolving circle. It's ever evolving. Fitness is what you make it. You have to do what you want, what you like, but you also have to do those things you don't like, because that's the missing link. That's what's going to make you better. I guarantee if somebody told you, hey, you have 30 days, to be locked in this room, and the only thing we're going to do is feed you, but you have to get in the best shape possible, and all you had was a rubber band or a towel, you would find some way to be very, very creative to get those results. Same as the way Joseph Pilates came up with Pilates. Same as the way that I'm not sure who, but same as the way as that person came up with yoga. Yoga's a lot of time with attention, but people love it because they don't fear it. They don't look at it like it's a big bad barbell or dumbbell or things like that. Right, and now if you really look at it, you see a lot of professional athletes doing a lot more Pilates or yoga. A lot of them have it prescribed in their off-season program. Yeah. Hey, Emmett Smith did it. Jerry Rice did it. I mean, not everybody caught on to it, but, hey, what didn't Herschel Walker do? You know? Well, I'm certified through the ISSA as a sports nutritionist, as well as Precision Nutrition through them as a sports nutritionist and fitness nutritionist. The biggest thing with any type of nutrition program or diet or things like that is they all work. They all work until they stress you out. So people have to find a better reasoning and understanding of why they're doing what they're doing. Let it be if it fits your macros, counting calories, tracking your macros, using the palm of your hand for, protein, one palm for men or one palm for women, two palms for men, things like that. No matter what type of diet you use, let it be paleo, Atkins, gluten-free, they all work. But what it comes down to is the habits that get them to work. More people are so focused on, things being gluten-free or paleo or intolerances and things like that, but you don't even have people getting in enough water per day. So how I try to coach your general population is habits. Let's start with week 1, eating until you're 80% full. What does that feel like to take one almond and chew it 20 times before you swallow it? What does it feel like to put that the black beans or the protein or the fish, the quinoa in your mouth and chew it and remember what that flavor actually tastes like. More people eat so fast just to get done and get back to what they're doing. We forgot about what food is for. Food is for fuel, and we need to get more mindful of what we eat and how we eat it and how we prepare it. So I try to just show people, if you want to count calories, but you don't have to. I do believe that at some point, everybody should track their macros and know where they're at, because today's society, we overeat. So I believe at some point in time, you need to have a baseline. And then you should down the road be able to eyeball those things. You should know what one serving of fat, which is your thumb, looks like. And healthy fats are avocado, olive oil, sesame seed oil, coconut oil, things like that. You should know that your plate should primarily be filled up with vegetables, then protein, then your complex carbohydrate like your sweet potatoes, your brown rice, your quinoa, things like that. And I try to keep it simplistic with that. I could get way more detailed into, like a pre-workout meal, post-workout meal, even intra-workout meals, like sipping on, some Gatorade with some whey protein mixed in, things like that. But I try to make it as simple as possible. I try to show people just with their hands, they can make a balanced meal. Vegetables, protein for women, men, complex carbohydrates. It could be way more simple. I believe people really overcomplicate those things. I'm very big on precision nutrition's habit-based methodology. I'm very big on another organization that I work with called Renaissance Periodization. They're a group of PhD philosophers, all in dietetics and nutrition. But they also use some of those philosophies. They just help you by taking the guesswork out of it. But for me, with the everyday person, most people these days, there's so much information out there. It's information overload. Now, I can't say that what works this month is going to work next month. Nutrition is a science as well. So people need to realize that, you're not going to lose 30 pounds in 90 days. You may lose 10, but if we dial in our nutrition, we can, enhance that. And there's nothing wrong with going out either and, having that beer and having that burger and not feeling shameful of the foods that we eat. We have such a negative connotation on the food that we eat. It's hurting people. Yep, it stresses you out. Now don't get me wrong. If you're an athlete or a bodybuilder or a fitness model, things like that, and you have photo shoots coming up, then yes, you are going to need to be in a higher caloric deficit. You are going to need to cut. You are going to go through, I don't want to use the word miserable, but you are going to have those maybe 2 or 3 weeks where, yeah, you are limiting some of the foods you eat. But if you're a regular person, I don't feel like we need to put that type of stress on ourselves or people in general. Because I've done, photo shoots when I used to work with Reebok and stuff like that. And yeah, it can get to you. But I just believe that people today need to have a better basic understanding. And they need to be more receptive and willing that what your Instagram models are doing and posting doesn't mean that that's going to work for you. I'm not for or against people that are vegetarians, vegans, eat meat, whatever, pescatarian. Do what works for you, but do it the smartest and safest way possible. I had a lady reach out to me the other day, a friend of mine that I used to train back in Wisconsin, and she messaged me about, how do I even do that? I eat in my car or I eat in between classes because she's a teacher and whatnot. And she told me, she's like, I'm going to try it. And she was like, I tried it for one day. And she was like, it was freaking hard. Like, because we're so focused on not knowing when our next meal may be or things like that. We want to eat everything. Yes, it is. Because your body is going to tell you what it likes or dislikes. Number one, I would say reach out to me. I'm more than willing and able to help because a lot of people now ask me how did I get to where I got to? In 2014, a lot of people know I was sponsored by Reebok as one of the top fitness professionals in the world, and I was found just through social media. But I would say number one is going to be network, and be authentic to who your brand is and what you believe your brand is. And then if you don't know who your brand is or what it is, talk to people that are in those positions that you're already in, that you want to get to. Don't change, who you are, for a dollar. And I say that because these days a lot of people in the fitness industry are doing it just for money. You see it on Instagram, everybody's a sponsored athlete or so to say, or things like that. The biggest thing I could say is build your network, because the saying holds true. Your net worth is in your network. So I would say network, go to as many seminars and conferences as you can. And to my new people out there, I'm sorry, you're going to have to do a lot of stuff for free. That's just a part of it. I can't tell you how many free articles I've written for magazines and online content and things like that. And for me, this is about to be year 14, and I'm just now getting compensated for articles. So you have to be willing to go that extra mile, because that's what you're in the industry for. If you're really in this industry, you're doing it out of love. You're doing it because you want to help people and make people better. Correct. My go-to workout would probably be there's probably two parts to it. A would probably be the TRX 40-40 challenge, which is 40 TRX low rows, then a minute rest, and then 40 TRX atomic push-ups. And that's where you put your feet in the straps, do a push-up and a crunch at the same time. That is probably my go-to because it hits everything. Other than that, it's going to be anything track and field related, sprint related, and pushing the sled around a facility for 30 minutes or 20 minutes or however until I can't feel my legs. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it's fun to me. Right. I believe so. Yes, it is Fraser Fitness presents Unleash Your Inner Athlete podcast. The overview is educate, motivate, and inspire. My goal is to educate as many people as possible through fitness and lifestyle and human movement and things like that. Going to be talking about all things from, training athletes, sports, general health and wellness, nutrition, everyday living. It's fitness based, but it's all inclusive. I want to hit all angles. I mean, even from telling my story of being diagnosed with epilepsy at 17. A lot of people don't know that, so I'll open up and even talk about that. Might even interview my 3-year-old son, who loves cars. He loves cars and Paw Patrol. So I want to be able to hit it from all angles. I already have a long list of top-notch fitness professionals that want to be on it. So they're going to be the first ones, and then I'm opening it up to everybody. I'm going to have my older sister on there, who's a breast cancer survivor. Possibly I'm going to have my wife on there, who works with kids with autism. Just all types of things. The focus is just going to be unleashing your inner athlete, and like we said before, that relates to everything. It's going to be on the YouTube channel with the vlog. It's going to be on Spreaker, Podbean. I'm trying to get it on Stitcher and SoundCloud as well. So my goal is to get it on as many platforms as possible. Awesome. Right. And I think that'll be fun just because it'll make people smile more, you know? Thank you for having me. No problem.